Hello everybody, Bobby from Full Tilt Weather. We're going to talk about today's setup. National Weather Service has activated an enhanced risk over Atlanta, Birmingham, and Montgomery for later in the day. We have a slide extending out into parts of Tennessee, even into the far eastern side of Mississippi. We have a line extending from basically Louisville all the way down to around Alexandria right now. And here is the marginal risk extending way out to Raleigh, North Carolina from around Alexandria, Louisiana. We go ahead and pull up tornado probability. National Weather Service has a 5%, it's either a 5 or a 10. That is a 5% hatch. And we have a 2% hatch extending out along the marginal areas. This is expected to be a pretty linear line. We're going to go ahead and talk about these cells down here that were just tornado possible a minute ago. This cell is still toting a tornado possible warning as of this moment. As you can see, 1/8 hail, 60 mile per hour wind threat, tornado possible. And this line is beginning to grow more to the north. The National Weather Service is not updated. This should probably occur within the next couple of them. I'm going to say next 2 to 3 hours. But there's been some change in their current forecast. So we're going to switch over here. This is tornadic perimeters. So as you can see, over the next couple of hours, that southwesterly is expected to kick in very strongly at about 62 knots, elevated at about 10,000 feet. So you're dealing with very strong shearing occurring along this area. And much of this area is not even in a risk or barely in a marginal risk, but the new models are expecting an explosion along this area. Especially as the sun comes up right around that area. We get into some latent heating later in the very, very early morning. Not a lot of a change from what I was saying the last couple of days. Huge chance right on Alabama-Georgia border. Then it kind of dissipates going into southern Georgia. So primary threat's going to be southern Alabama, possible topography tornadoes in Tennessee, extending to right around the northwest side of Georgia. This should include Atlanta. And we have a possible severe weather effect here along Mississippi and southwest Tennessee. This is very likely. This is Helicity Slink. We use this as a sauce. So gives good chances of tornado probabilities in tracks. So the model's currently thinking there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 or 8 tornado probabilities over here heading out of Mississippi through central Alabama. And it makes sense that you would get a higher swath through this area because this is moving into the Appalachian Mountain Range. This area usually is pretty heavily hit. Northeastern Georgia, northwestern South Carolina. This is not an unusual effect. This is a heavily topography area for tornadoes. Okay, so we're going to play the simulated reflective radar. This is the issue. These cells that have formed currently in Louisiana coming out of Natchez area are really not on the radar for possible reflectivities. I went through all the different model sets and there's nothing there. Moving forward, the model is kind of thinking that towards that central portion there in Mississippi, we begin to get discrete initiation. But the problem is this could easily go back a lot further than the models are thinking. So this is off of the Shreveport radar site. Right here, we've got a partially linear line that was showing rotation, produced 60-mile-an-hour winds. Did down a couple light poles here between Percival and Montgomery. About 30 minutes ago, right in that area. These cells have been struggling as they begin to grow. You can see the ET site here. Not a lot going on in the cell right now. This warning will be set to expire over the next few minutes. But this line is a pre-initiation of what the model was not expecting. This could become a severe issue heading into the northeastern portion of Louisiana and maybe even central Mississippi a lot quicker than was expected. We're going to switch back over here. We'll go up to MSR radar. Flip MSR on. So we have numerous warnings moving along Evansville, headed towards Cincinnati area, right along I-75. These cells are more pre-discrete, so not getting a lot of southwesterly, not a huge tornado threat, in pretty good cape, so, you know, they remain 60-mile-an-hour, 1-inch hail threats. Yeah, these are warned for 60s, 1-inch. These cells are climbing topography at the moment. So this whole area right here is a huge topography basin. So these cells could rotate, but it's pretty unlikely. The National Weather Service kind of refused to put a watch out for this area. Yeah, because I do not have watches on. Okay, so they watched the southern area. This is the only watch up currently, including Persulia radar site. Right on the border there of Illinois, Missouri, and what would this be? Kentucky. Right in this area. This whole training of line is expected to upscale right around daylight, producing more severe weather as we continue into the day. And the more central area is still going to be right here along central Mississippi, central Alabama, and some of western Georgia. If you live in this area, I would definitely be aware of the weather through the day. Thank you all, and I'm out.